know the issues. We know about energy. We know about the border. We know Joe Biden doesn't know what he's doing. We know all that. We get all that. But why do this? Why do this here tonight with Legacy PAC? Because there's a whole lot of people who have the passion to save this country who need help getting off the ground.
The purpose of Legacy PAC is to save America. That's our mission. That's what we really want to do because America's worth saving.
I am by trade, I'm a cybersecurity engineer. Okay, so this is my first run in politics. We need more conservative Republicans standing up and fighting for the Constitution.
We're an America First PAC, and we want to promote and help our up-and-coming candidates, and we're going to be holding the line for President Trump.
I joined the Army at 17 years old. My first day at my first unit, which was 25th Infantry, was September 10th, 2001. So the next day was 9/11. And I spent about a total of a decade between Iraq and Afghanistan in country. So my country means everything to me. When I realized that if people like myself who don't want to be politicians don't start stepping up and taking these seats, that nothing's going to change, then I said, okay, I'll do it.
Who deserves to lead the people of this country more than those who serve this country? So I'm behind every one of them. So let's make sure we get more veterans into power. I'm all for it.
Remember why you're involved. We have to make sure people remain humble and not engage in self-glorification. You are here for one reason, and that is to save the country. Period. End of story.
And for those candidates who are looking uphill and wondering how, keep your head down, focus on the target, and outwork everybody. And I promise you, you're not gonna lose. You're either gonna win on election night or you change the game on election night. So God bless you guys. Thank you so much, Legacy PAC.
Thank you, Legacy PAC.
And Stan, where's Stan? Stan is with Veterans for Trump.
Thank you, Martha.
Thank you all. We're honored. I know there are so many organizations represented here today.
You're saying here too much, but you're going to do very well. And I just had somebody write down. First of all, James and Sarah Pritchard, thank you very much. Yes, great job. Thank you. We appreciate all the help. Stanley and Donna Fitzgerald.
Right here, sir.
Thank you very much. It's great. It's great that you're with us. Mike Acton.
Hi, this is Stan Fitzgerald with Veterans for Trump. I'm here with Darius Mayfield, who's running for Congress in New Jersey. How are you today, Darius?
I'm doing well, Stan. And yourself?
I'm doing good, thank you. It's good to see you again.
You as well.
Darius, can you tell our viewers a little bit about your background?
Yeah, well, I am a all-American Jersey boy, born in the great state of New Jersey, in the great city of New Brunswick, New Jersey, at St. Peter's Hospital. I come from very humble beginnings, a single mother, little sister. My father left the home when I was about 3 years old. So again, very humble beginnings with a strong single mother who instilled so much in us that and to this day, I don't think she really realizes how big of a part she played in the success that I'm having in life nowadays, which just shows that, you know, the strength of a woman is strong and it can be done. And she focused on things like making sure me and my sister were able to get a quality education, which is why school choice education is not only probably one of the pillars of my congressional campaign, but also the pillar of the foundation, the Darius Mayfield Foundation, that I really recently started. You know, education is so important. Again, coming from very humble beginnings, I wasn't afforded the type of education my mom believed that we deserved. So, you know, a lot of people know my story, but she ended up taking me out of one school after I had an incident there in New Brunswick and using my aunt's address in a suburban neighborhood about 5 miles away and sending me to school there. Shortly after going to school there for a year or so, they came at my mom and somebody had kind of ratted us out and let them know I didn't live in in that actual town. So they came and told my mother, you have two choices. Either you can take him out of the school and send him back to New Brunswick school, and because he had problems, we'll let you send him wherever you want, not just, relegated to that small, 3-mile radius that we were recently relegated to go to school. Or you can, keep him here for now. We'll take you to court and take you for everything you got, pretty much. So, that's why school choice is so important to me. My mother did end up taking me out of that school, but shortly thereafter ended up taking moving everything from New Brunswick to the poorest part of that same suburban neighborhood to ensure me and my sister were able to get a quality education. Had she not done that, I probably wouldn't be here speaking to Veterans for Trump today. I definitely wouldn't be running for office. I wouldn't be able to experience and do all the amazing things that I've done while living the American dream in this country. And that's not to say that this country is perfect. We all know it's not, but this country has gone through so much, has grown from so much. And I appreciate that and understand that, something I think lacks in our society today, where we just keep focusing on the ills, the bad time periods of this country, but failing to recognize how far we've come, how much we've grown, and how free we actually are as a nation. We are a beacon of freedom, hope, and faith to the rest of the freedom-loving world. And, especially right now in these times, I'm sure most people, not just Republicans, understand that we are losing a little bit of that light, especially with the current administration residing in the White House, with what's going on in places like Ukraine, with countries, really bolstering up and feeling like they can this is now the time to challenge American dominance, the time to challenge the American dollar. And we see that happening all over the world, which has not only bad implications for this country, but bad implications for the rest of the freedom-loving world. So I hope with my candidacy, with my vigor, with my love of country, we can start to and keep inspiring a new generation of Americans that do focus on not only obtaining, but living and passing down the American dream to future generations. And that's why my motto is not black, not white, American, because we are all Americans at the end of the day, and it's time that we all start acting like it.
Yes, sir. I couldn't agree with you more. And hey, slam dunk. I don't even have to ask you any questions. But I do want to ask you, Darius, the country is concerned. It seems the DOJ is weaponizing its abilities to prosecute people against conservatives, and specifically President Trump. And we're starting to see that now at the state level as well. We have an indictment coming here in Georgia. What are your thoughts on this? And as a member of Congress, what would be your stance when you get into office?
Well, it's sad. It really is sad because as we see, Trump likes to often say he's not being prosecuted, he's being persecuted. And when you really start to put everything together and you watch what's going on, that's exactly what it looks like. And that's exactly, what it is right now. We saw Joe Biden be pretty much caught doing the same thing with having all the documents in his house, back in his college in Delaware, in his garage. We saw Mike Pence come out and find out that he had documents in his residence as well from his VP days. And we saw them basically let Mike Pence off. We saw them basically begin to let Joe Biden off. But for some reason, it's this historical grand scheme of a crime from somebody like Donald Trump. And this is a pattern. We've seen this from the beginning, not even just the beginning of his presidency, but once he started running for office with the Russia hoax that we later found out was not real. We later found out that, in fact, his political opponent, Mrs. Hillary Clinton, was the one who paid for those documents and pretty much spearheaded that whole effort. We also found out that Joe Biden and the former President Barack Obama at the time knew about what was going on, even though they've spoken to the contrary since that time. And it was just thing after thing, the fake impeachments of Donald Trump, where, they tried to, even though you have evidence, even though we can hear the phone call where the president obviously never explicitly threatened anybody on that side, even though we had the Ukrainian president at the time come out and say as much that he wasn't threatened, and then have a video of Joe Biden literally in our faces where he explicitly threatens to hold up aid because because of those things. So people seeing these things really just gives credence to the fact that this is not a prosecution. It is a persecution. Listen, I am a man of law and order, as I know people like Donald Trump are, as I know most Republicans and conservatives are. So if you do something wrong, it is my belief that you have to face the law and you have to face the penalties associated with that. But when we see clear-cut evidence of special treatment, of the same supposed crimes being brought up, but different people getting different consequences or receiving different consequences from those things, we understand just how unfair the justice system is. We understand just how politicized the justice system and our federal government have become. And it's not a good thing for this country. You start to look at countries like the Saudi Arabias, like some third world countries where they, very often practice in prosecuting their political opponents. And a lot of people here never thought we'd see the day, never thought we'd see those things. We understood that we had differences, we have problems, we have different political parties, but that at the same time, most of us always believe that under the law, you are innocent until proven guilty, and no man or woman, no matter your financial status, no matter your status within our federal government, is above the law at the end of the day. But every day now, it just seems like we have more and more evidence of this Justice Department, this administration just being politically motivated to really continuously go after their political opponent that in the polls right now is up by 20, 30, 40% in a Republican primary. And a lot of polls, the Harvard poll that just came out the other day, President Trump is beating President Biden in a hypothetical rematch of their 2020 election. So when you see those things, and you start to put things together, it's not hard to come to the conclusion that a lot of this is politically motivated. A lot of this is being done because, as they've said out in the open multiple times, they will do anything to stop Donald Trump Jr. from becoming president of this country again. So again, we believe in equal application of the law, but we do not believe in a politically serving justice system that protects one side of the aisle while going after and prosecuting and persecuting the other. So we need to, as Congress, once elected, we will definitely continue, as Republicans have, to do investigations into our law enforcement agencies, into our FBI, into our CIA, which I believe is one of the reasons why they're so feverish to go along and prosecuting Donald Trump. Because if you remember when he was president, he often called for the investigations into our law enforcement communities. He always called out the corruption within our law enforcement community, while also praising the good aspects of our law enforcement community. So when you have those things happening, when you finally have somebody up there unafraid to call out the corruption and give it to anybody, anywhere, it's no wonder why you have things like this happening. So I will serve as a beacon and a soldier to make sure we not only continue those investigations, but we begin to cleanse out our law enforcement communities of this political corruption, and make sure we start putting term limits up and down our federal, our state and local government. So that means term limits for our congressional candidates and congressional elected leaders. That means term limits not only for them, but term limits for their staff, because we know a big problem and why a lot of this stuff is able to persist is because even when some of these elected officials leave office, they still have the people that they've propagated in such ways still there within our government. And I think it's very important that we understand those people need limits on them as well, so they don't continue to help erode our elections, erode our federal government, erode our law enforcement community, and so we don't continue to see the things that we're seeing now. So we have a lot of work to do, but again, I believe in evenly open-handed justice for all, no matter what side of the aisle you sit on, no matter what your socioeconomic status is, no matter how important you think you are, because that's the American way.
Well, amen to that, Darius. So we are definitely on the same page, and I know you've always been very supportive of our veterans and law enforcement. And I know you support President Trump. I've been to Mar-a-Lago with you. So I can announce here today that Veterans for Trump is announcing that we are endorsing your campaign, and we want to do all we can to help you be the next congressman from the great state of New Jersey. So congratulations, and please tell people how to get to your website.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys, and thank you for that endorsement. It means a lot coming from such a community that cares so much about our country. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. I wear it with a badge of honor, and we're gonna give it everything we got, man. You know we will. And everybody can find me right on my campaign website at www.dariusmayfield4america.com. You can also find me on Instagram at Darius, the number 4 America, as well as on Twitter at Mr. Mayfield USA, and on Facebook at Darius Mayfield for America. And please just go and support however you can, whether it's signing up as a volunteer, whether it's donating funds to the campaign, which I believe is the last critical part that we need to our campaign to push us over the edge, because I promise you guys, we will be the next representative out of the 12th congressional district other than Bonnie Watson Coleman. If you guys don't know, last year during the election, I became the first county in American history to have every single Dominion machine shut off for the entire day on the day of election, where not one vote was cast on our election systems. And that brought a lot of people together, not just conservatives and Republicans, but even Democrats were at those commissioner meetings saying how they felt disenfranchised and they didn't appreciate the tricks and things that they were doing in our district. I also was the only county in New Jersey on election day that had the DOJ in their county, in Middlesex County, where we still won 45% of the vote. The first time candidate, first time ever running, and in the biggest county in my district with over 90,000 votes, was able to garner 45,000 votes in a district where the DOJ was literally there in person to watch over our district. So they understand what I'm doing. They understand just how much of a threat I am to their political power, to their nepotism within our government here in the 12th district. And they understand how level-headed and even-keeled I am at the same time, because they want to go and fashion us all as these extremists that don't know what we're talking about and are just about the most extreme elements of our society. But that's not me. I'm a common sense conservative that loves this country, that appreciates this country, that believes this country is the greatest gift to earth and the existence of the world. And I'd like to keep it that way. And I'd like to give other people in this country, other Americans, the hope and the faith to know that they can do it too. They need to love this country, and anything they want to do is possible here. So please support us and the campaign. I'll continue to fight for you guys hard every single day, and we'll get it done. I promise you guys.
If anyone could flip New Jersey, it would be you, Darius. My wife and I could testify to that. We spent some time with Darius, and he's an excellent candidate. So please do go to his website and support him.
Appreciate you, Stan.
All right, you're very welcome, and we'll see you when you're in Georgia. Take care now.
Yes, sir. See you guys soon.